Well, it's going to be a Sunday of blood, tears and sweat this weekend. This is thousands of ultra runners take part in the 94th edition of the Comrades Marathon. The uprun will see runners negotiate 5 notorious hills between Durban and Pietermaritzburg in the 86.83 kilometres route. Last year's race was won by Bongumusa Mthembu, who was gunning to win it this year again for the 3rd consecutive time. For more on the upcoming race, we now joined live from our Durban studios by Comrades Marathon Association Race Director, Rowyn James. A very good morning to you, Rowyn. With just a few days before the big race, how ready is the association to host the 94th edition of this international race?
Good morning, and yes, at this stage all preparations are going on well. An advanced stage. The Expo opens tomorrow at 10 a.m. here in Durban at the Durban Exhibition Centre, and it's the place where all the runners will need to register over the 3 days leading up to race day. I've just come down from the finish at Scottsville Racecourse in Pietermaritzburg, and build-up's going along very well there.
How much interest do you find there usually is in the Expo?
I beg your pardon, just say that again.
How much interest, you were just saying that you've just been to the Expo that's opening tomorrow. How much interest is it, but also how has it changed through the years in terms of the kind of product you're showcasing, the kind of innovations that you're talking about in the running space?
So yeah, just first of all, the Expo tomorrow is open to everybody, runners and the public. It's free entrance. All the runners, just over 21,500 runners, have to go through the Expo and pick up their race packs. Just in terms of some of the new innovations that we're bringing in for the race, one of our mandates is to really turn the race into what's affectionately known as a green event. So we're working towards that to try and mitigate our impact on the environment. And one of the initiatives that we have we'll be implementing this year is in our medical tent, where the IV bags, which is a non-contaminated, non-hazardous material, will be recycled. They are provided by Adcock Ingram Critical Care, and then they'll be recycled to make school shoes for underprivileged children as part of a program that's known as My Walk, that is instituted by our medical partner Netcare.
Running, which used to be a natural activity for human beings, has now become such a scientific process. What are some of the new things, the new information that runners are engaging with in order to sharpen their skill and perhaps increase their chances of winning the Comrades?
I think there's... from that point, there's no substitute for training. You know, you have to do the preparation beforehand properly. It's really anything from a 6-month to an 8-month commitment in terms of the training to get to the start line itself. Obviously, your top runners and your professional athletes, they follow a much more rigid program to get to the start line and to defend their titles, like in the case of Bongumusa Mthembu, who will be the defending champion again. From that point of view, but for all your average Joes, average weekend warriors, as we refer to them, they just got to get out there, grind the kilometres week in, week out. We do offer various training programs on our website that they can follow as well, and then also they just interact with all their club members and that sort of thing, and that's what gets them to the start line at the end of the day, and hopefully to the finish line. Last year we had just over 16,500 finishes, so it was the 2nd highest number of finishes ever. So we tended to find that people are preparing better and preparing more adequately. I have been just looking at the weather forecast for the next few days, and it is intending to be a fairly warm day on Sunday, only with 27 degrees. So one of the things I would also encourage the runners just to do is just to ensure to drink adequately, and then we basically say drink according to your thirst. Stay hydrated, and in that way it will also, the chances of keeping them out of the medical tent will be that much higher.
Weekend Joes, now that's a new term. I will use it as a non-runner to taunt my running friends. You were talking about the preparation of the athletes. Now let's talk about the preparation of the organization. How much preparation had to go into planning for a race of this magnitude?
It's a mammoth undertaking. We basically, while I'm in my capacity as race director, really hold everything together. We work in a 15-month cycle to present each year's race. So effectively, while we're working on presenting this Sunday's uprun race. We're already doing some things in preparation for next year's down run, which will happen on the 14th of June. But it's a mammoth undertaking. We are just 13 full-time staff in the office. But what we rely largely on is what we call our volunteer corps, which we call Team Comrades. And there's anything in the region of up to 6,000 people in the volunteer corps that actually offer their services freely and make their time freely available in order to present the race. Just for argument's sake, the refreshment points en route, it's some of the things that's on screen at the moment. There's 43 well-stocked refreshment stations en route, and anything up to 3,500 people work at each one of those 43 refreshment stations, offering everything from water to Energade to Coca-Cola, cream soda, bananas, oranges, salty cracks, you name it, they get it out there. It's a long day. It's almost like driving a car. You can't drive forever. You need to put petrol in, and we as event organizers need to ensure that we make those facilities and resources available to the athletes that they can do it. But absolutely, without the help of the dedicated volunteer corps, it just wouldn't be possible to put an event of this magnitude on. And also not to forget our support services as well. We work with 3 different municipalities here, and municipal authorities in the eThekwini Municipal District, the Mzanduzi Municipal District, 3 different traffic authorities from eThekwini, Metro, Mzanduzi, and RTI, Department of Transport. So there are many role players in the background as well, disaster management, fire, health and safety, and so forth, that are all required to pull together to put on an event of this magnitude together.
You were saying that it's an uprun this year to us, the uneducated, in terms of this sport. What's the difference between an uprun and a down run, and what are the expectations for this year?
So just the difference between the two, it's one of the traditions of Comrades Marathon. There's many traditions that make the Comrades Marathon. It alternates between an up and a down run every year. So down run starts at the City Hall in Pietermaritzburg and finishes currently at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, which is in the background behind me here. And then an up run, which it is this year, starts at the Durban City Hall and finishes at the Scottsville Racecourse. So the distances do differ. The down run is just over 90 kilometres, whether this year's up run will be just under 87 kilometres. And the reason for the difference is obviously the difference in starting and finishing venues in each respective city.
The race has multiple impacts, and one of them is on the tourism of the economy of KZN. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and it's we've previously commissioned independent research from Northwest University to do an economic impact assessment and study of what the impact of the Comrades Marathon is on the cities of eThekwini, or the municipal area of eThekwini, Durban, and Mzanduzi, Pietermaritzburg, respectively, and the larger setup of KwaZulu-Natal as a province as well. And it's in the region of just over 600 million rand is generated over this Comrades weekend for the 2 respective cities, just over 300 million going to Durban, and then 230 odd million going to Mzanduzi, and the balance to the KwaZulu-Natal province as a whole. And that's everything through travel, accommodation, tourism, sightseeing at various tourism attractions and so forth. So it is a huge money spinner and generator for the province. And I think that's the reason that we have very good partnerships with both respective cities and their municipal boundaries and their committees and councils, because they realize the impact that this event has on the respective cities. So it's definitely a great window to the world, so to speak, not only for South Africa but to the rest of the world, with just over 2,000 international participants coming on as well. And naturally, when they come, they bring their foreign currencies and revenues and invest that here locally in the local economy.
Of course, there's an end goal when runners are preparing for this tough race. Why is the prize not over a 1 million rand, as many people are calling out for? Why are the ultra runners not pay, say, like soccer stars? Because they literally have to train daily.
Very much so. It is quite a commitment for them to be able to do that and get that to the start line from that point of view. So it's a serious commitment undertaken, but I think they're all up for the task. And the Comrades Marathon is part of the South African culture, tapestry, way of life and culture. We all grew up with it, and it's certainly here. This is the 94th running this year, and Next year will actually be our 95th running, and then in 2021 will be the centenary of Comrades, which started in 1921, and then in 2025 we'll be having the 100th running of the Comrades Marathon.
Well, you're talking about 2021. Let's wish you the best for these few days ahead. Let's wish you the best for Sunday. That was Comrades Marathon Association Race Director Rowyn James talking to us about the upcoming race on Sunday. Good luck to all the runners, including the SABC athletes who are taking part. SABC Sport will broadcast the race live on Sunday from 5:30 in the morning on our sister channel SABC 2. Let's take a break.